Have you ever started a project and finished it in the exact same day? Don't those projects just feel so good? That was my intention behind making the mini granny square soap sack pattern. It's quick, it feels so satisfying, it works great, and it makes for an amazing gift or donation if you want to whip up a couple of these and donate them. Plus, who doesn't love a super cute mini granny square too, right? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi. I'm Tiffany. I create fun, easy to follow crochet patterns and tutorials to help you make beautiful things with your own yarn stash. So whether you've been here for a while or you're just landing on this video, I'm so glad that you're hanging out with me today. For today's tutorial, you're gonna need a size G6 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a tape measure to make sure that your soap sack turns out just right. We're aiming for around 4 inches wide by 6 inches tall. I originally made this pattern with Premier Hipster 100% cotton yarn, and I got perfect 4x6 dimensions. It looked so good, but when I tried to recreate this pattern using lily sugar and cream yarn, it came out more like 5x7. So yarn choice does matter a little bit here. Either way, just make sure that you're using a size 4 weight 100% cotton yarn for best results. I've linked everything that I used in the description section below. Super easy for you to just grab what you need. And if you want the full written pattern, it's available on my website, crochetwithtiffany.com. I've dropped the link in the description section as well, so that way you can go straight to it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this tutorial. I'll show you step by step how to crochet this super cute soap sack from start to finish. To make the mini granny square soap sacks, we're just making a bunch of 2 round granny squares. If you would like to color control by having one color be the center and then color changing for the second round, that would look really cool. I am utilizing a yarn that is variegated in color, so I just kind of go and let the colors land wherever they land. I'm going to begin with a magic circle, so that way the center of my granny square is really tight, though you can also begin with a chain 4 method, where you just chain 4 and then slip stitch into the first chain to create a circle. Once you have your circle, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, whether you did the chain 4 or the magic circle. That counts as your first double crochet stitch. Make 2 more double crochet stitches in the circle. 1, 2, and then chain 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 2 chains, 1, 2, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and now I have 1, 2, 3 sides. We need one more side, so chain 2, 1, 2, and pull this a little more closed, just a little big, and 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, great, and then we're going to go ahead and chain 1, and I really like to half double crochet in the 3rd chain to be able to keep my crochet hook in that corner, and it actually eliminates or gets rid of that join line that seems to show up in granny squares. So chain 1 and half double crochet in the 3rd chain, then I closed the center of my granny square. And this is round 1, just a very basic granny square shape right there. To work round 2, we're going to begin by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet stitch. Make 2 more double crochet stitches in this corner. 1, 2. Hop over this group of 3 double crochet, and in this corner we're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Next corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3. Next corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, and last corner. We already have 3 double crochets in there, so we're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 1, and half double crochet in that third chain. 1, 2, 3, then chain 1 and half double crochet in the third chain. There we go. This is what we're looking at the end of round 2. Grab your scissors, cut a tail long enough for you to weave in your ends, then yarn over and pull that yarn through the loop on your crochet hook for a tie off. Great, so there's 1 granny square. We need to make a total of 12 of these for our soap sack. So go ahead, take a second and make your 12 granny squares. Awesome. Now that you have all 12 of your granny squares, let's go ahead and weave in all of the ends. That way we are dealing with clean granny squares when we go to join them all together. This is also going to help us to make weaving in the ends a lot easier than if we see all the crazy chaos of a fully formed soap sack with all of these tails. All right, so go ahead, take a second, weave in all your ends, and then come back. The next step is going to be joining the granny squares together. Now, I personally liked the invisible join where the squares actually look like they were just hugged right next to each other. And to accomplish this, we're going to take our yarn needle and we're going to take the same yarn that we used for the project itself. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the yarn. It's okay if you cut too much. I'm going to start by going this direction, and if I need more, I can get more, but I'm going to start with this much. Great. I'm going to put this off to the side and just focus on these guys right here. I'm going to join up this way. Oop, there we go. I'm going to start by joining up the middle. Okay, separate these. Just focus on these 2. Looking at the corner. The corner should have the 2 chains here. I'm going to go in the middle of 1 chain, the second chain, and through the middle of the first chain. So I'm still dealing with just the 2 chains here. I'm going to pull through, leaving a tail at the bottom so I can tie a knot. Coming to this square, now I have the join here, but that's okay. I'm really focusing on the top of the half double crochet and the chain. So I'm going to focus on going in the middle of the V of 1 and coming out the other, just like that. Then joining those and tying a knot, making sure that there's a long enough tail for me to clean up and weave in that end. Also, before we start the joining process, I do want to say to look at all your granny squares and make sure the right side is facing up. I have done this process moving a little fast, and I just went and there were a couple squares that were upside down, and it is noticeable. Right, so taking our 2 granny squares and our yarn needle, I'm going to come to the V that I just came out of, inserting my yarn needle and pop out the next one, and then come across, inserting and coming out the next one. Well, now if you have like a join here where there's the top of the 3 chains, just enter in the top of the 3 chains. It might be a little challenging to see where that V is, but that's all we need to do. Then come back, middle, middle, first, middle, middle. All right, let's get about halfway, and then I'm going to pull the yarn tight for everything to just marry together really well.
Okay, once you're about halfway, that's all right, but if you then take your yarn and you pull it, it really binds, or I guess makes the two granny squares squish together even better, and you cannot see the yarn that you used to join the two squares together. So again, coming back, middle, 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 and always going from the one that you left off on before you go to the next, the one you left off on before you go to the next, to really help. Make your way all the way up, and we're actually going to go to the first chain. So see the two chains? I want to go through the first chain, stitch, go through the first chain, leaving the second chain. Go ahead and tighten those. There we go. And then grab the next two. We're going to start the next two by looking at the two chains, taking our crochet hook, going in from the first chain to the second chain, and then next going in from the first chain to the second chain. There we go. And then continue working our way up. Don't worry about this stitch, this square not attaching to this square yet. When we come to join sideways, we'll get everything all connected. It'll all work out. So continuing. Okay, now that you know how to join new granny squares to the join, continue up making all three lines, and I'll meet you at the top to show you then how to work the cross section. And finishing this side by making the stitch go through the first chain, not the second chain, on both sides, and then tying off. And this is how I'll tie off. Take my yarn, go through the stitches, and go. Hold a loop back with my thumb, twist it, take my yarn needle, go underneath the loop, and slowly guide for a tie off. Now you can choose if you want to weave in this end now or later, and I'm going to choose later so I can continue on this demonstration. We have just joined along the middle. Now we're going to join these middle sections along the side. So taking our yarn, again, cutting that. Beginning in the corner, finding the two chains, entering into the first chain, coming out the second chain, entering the second chain, coming out the first chain, and tie a knot, leaving a long enough tail here to weave in your ends. Knot one, knot two, and then continue. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this section, and I'll meet you here in the middle. Great, we've come upon that cross section. So I'm going to go through the top here, through the first chain, so top of the last stitch and through the first chain. Great. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go over that yarn that is joining the cross section, and I'm going to go in the first chain and out the second chain. See, and that's where we pick it up, so there's nothing flappy loosey-goosey. Then in this chain right here that's closest to us, and out the first stitch. Boom. Double check that all four corners are joined. Pull that tight, but not too tight, because we don't want that to happen. That's bad. We don't want that, so make sure that everything is still stretched and laying the way we want it to, but that all four corners are touching. and then continue across. When you get across, I'll show you the tie off and then you'll just kind of repeat. At the very end, we're going to come through the first chain and stitch first chain, leaving that second chain alone because that second chain is going to help with the outside. Come to the back, hold some yarn over your finger. So I take it, go over my finger to hold some back, insert the yarn needle into the project. The yarn you held back, we're going to twist it so it makes an X shape. Go underneath that loop, slowly pull for a tie off. You choose if you want to weave in this end or if you want to just let it go and continue joining. And that's all you do. See how it has that nice cross section now and all of the squares are joined together. So cool. Right, now what I want you to do is I want you to join these two together and then I want you to do the same thing with the other 6 squares, making sure that they're all facing the right side up, none are upside down. And then you'll have the front side of your soap sack and the back side of your soap sack. Go ahead and finish both of these sides and then come back and I'll show you what we do next. All joined, both sides. Next, we're going to weave in these ends again to get them out of the way before we move on to the next step. Next thing we're going to do is take these 2 granny square sides and we're going to make it so the wrong sides are touching. So the backs of the granny squares are touching and the right sides of the granny squares are on the outside. And we're going to join the squares like this. So we're going to leave the top open. I'm going to grab my yarn needle and a really long strand of yarn. Whoop, go around one way. Again, I'd rather err on too much than not enough. And now we are going to do the exact same join method, but we're going to join the 2 sides together. And this is really going to make the pouch itself. So again, we're going to start in the corner of these 2 joining and then continue joining all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. Go ahead and do that and then I'll meet up with you to do the very last step, which is making the drawstring. So starting the corners, just like we started every other time. All right, and the last thing that we need to do is make a drawstring for this soap sack. So grabbing our yarn and a crochet hook, start by chaining 50. And then for row 1 of our drawstring, we're just going to single crochet in the second chain from our crochet hook and single crochet in each chain all the way across just to make that drawstring a little thicker. All right, 48 and 49. Awesome. Cutting our yarn. Where's my scissors? Tie off the work. There we go. Now we're going to take our string and we're going to come to our soap sack and we're actually going to weave in between the first and second rounds of the top granny squares. So coming to a side, going in and out, weaving all the way around. Great. And miniature granny square soap sack is complete.
Okay, so tell me, are you planning on making this little soap sack for yourself, a friend, or are you gonna whip up a couple of these to donate them? I'd love to hear what your plans are down in the comment section below. And hey, if you found this tutorial helpful at all, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a yarn-loving friend. It really helps support my channel, and I appreciate it more than you know. Let's keep hanging out together. I've got a bunch more other soap sack videos that we can watch together. Keep it going. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have the best day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.